Yeah, we can start the session in 2 minutes. Please be patient. Hi everyone. Am I audible now? Okay. Okay. So, hi all. We can start the session now. And hi, this is Ravi Verma from AP Training. I welcome you all to the AP Training. Let's see the today's agenda. And this is our agenda today. So the first agenda is participant introduction. So the next would be webinar content, which is nothing but trainer will take the classes. And the third session would be a query session, like whatever the doubts you have, you can ask your doubts to the trainer. And the fourth session will be student guide, which is nothing but our AP training teaching methodology. And the fifth session would be APT offer. That is, we are going to provide some excellent offer to the participants who joined the webinar today. So we are going to provide some offer to all. So that offer we will be revealing it in under fifth session, and the final session would be queries and feedback session. So this is the important session because you will be getting the feedback form. You have to fill that feedback form. Then only you will get the participant certification. So before filling the feedback form, please cross verify your details once and then submit the feedback form. Okay. Okay. Fine. So am I audible? Okay. Fine. So is it fine now? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, fine. So today the webinar will be taken by our trainer, Ms. Geetanjali, who is having vast knowledge on Python. She's a certified professional who is having good experience and knowledge in Python technology. So today she's the one who is going to take a Python session to you. So Geetanjali, are you available? Geetanjali, you can unmute yourself actually.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Geetanjali, I can hear you.
Hi, guys. This is Geetanjali. So, in today's session, we are going to see about Python. So, let me first share my screen. So, sir, kindly put in full screen, sir. Let me explain. Kindly put in full screen, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So Python. So if you hear the word, what comes in your mind? So Python is a programming language basically. So I tell that Python is more than a programming language because it is a great time for the beginners to start the coding of Python because it is more popular and it is more versatile in today's trend. If you see, it is the great opportunity for you to learn Python in this session, right? So before entering into the session, let me tell you about something in Python. So the first question arises here is what is Python? So before entering into this session, let me tell you how you can install Python and what are the job trends going in Python and what are the tools used to build Python, etc. So, sir, next slide, please. So, if you see, you can install the Python through the link what I have given. So, after this session, we upload this PPT. So, you can directly access this link and you can download the Python. So, there are many types of IDEs. IDE is nothing but integrate development environment. If you see here, we are using Eclipse PyDev. So more commonly, many MNCs uses PyCharm, Spider, and Eclipse Dev, Wing, IDLE, etc. So in our session, I'm going to use Eclipse PyDev because I feel that it's a good tool to develop our Python. And here I just gave the link to download your Eclipse PyDev. And if you click on this link, you can also get how to download each and every step, everything or already written here. So you can do this. Next slide, please. So in today's agenda, we are going to see about some of the introductory part of Python, and I will also explain you what are variables, expressions, and statements. So after that, we will also give a few tips of interview questions, right? So, sir, next slide, please. So Python. So our first question is what is Python? Here, Python is the fast-growing language in terms of developers. And if you see, there are lots and lots of libraries present comparing to other language, and you have lots and lots of application, inbuilt applications. So Python is the fastest growing language in terms of developers, libraries, and applications, and it could be useful in machine learning, artificial intelligence, web development, etc. And in case of artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python makes the work more productive. So only they are using this, and it is much more easier comparing to other language. And the general definition for Python is a general purpose language, and it is high level interpreted language with easy syntax, and it has a dynamic semantics. And if you see, it was developed by 1989 by Guido van Rossum. So next slide, please, sir. So our next question comes here is why Python is more popular. So if you see, comparing to other language, Python is more popular because it is easy. Easy in the sense, its syntax is very easy comparing to C, C++, Java. If you see in C, C++, Java, you have the syntax somewhat complicated compared to your Python. For example, let me tell you, in your Java, you will use system.out.println for your to print a simple output statement. But in your Python, you are not going to do like that. Just you are going to type print and just you are going to type what the thing you want to get printed. So that's the thing you are going to do. Python is very easy. First of all, it is very easy language, and it has high level future and making one of the best language for the one who start learning the programming skill. That means the programming language first. So the first point here is it is easy. So the second point here, it is totally free. That means open source. it is open source for anybody and free for everybody to use. So you can download the free tools and you can build your own coding. So every day there are thousands of programmers who can come throughout the online, and they can build their own code with better and efficient manner. So you can modify the code in your open source tool, and you can make the code and you can build the code, etc. So it is totally free. And the next steps comes here is your Python have lots and lots of huge applications. If you see, they are mainly used in graphical user interface, mobile applications, and server-side coding, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, so whatnot. So everything comes under your Python. And the last thing is it have huge variety of libraries. Yes, if you see comparing to C, C++, Java also having lots of packages. Comparing to that, why they are using Python means they have lots and lots of libraries which supports. So mainly if you see in machine learning and artificial intelligence, you have lots and lots of algorithm. You need not to code for everything, because some of the codes are already inbuilt in your Python. So this is what Python is more popular today. So next slide, please, sir. Next slide, sir. So if you see futures of Python, uh, there are lots and lots of futures of Python. So the first one is it is simplicity. As I told you earlier, that Python is a simple language, that is easy language, right? Yes, Python makes the programming language fun and it makes simple. And if you see, it makes you to think more for solution rather than the syntax. If you see, if you are coding your project in C, C++, or Java, the actually this is a survey that most of the MNC software programmers used to tell, comparing with C, C++, Java, Python is easy because this Python makes us to think the solution of the problem rather than the syntax. If you see in Java, it is highly case sensitive. For example, system dot out dot println, if you give any small letter or capital letter in between, it shows error. So these problems are not come here. So the syntax is easy, and the main point here is the simplicity is it makes us to think only for the solution for the problem and not for the syntax. And the second one is open source. I already said it is free for anyone and anybody to use. So you can modify your code here and it is open source. And if you see the third feature, it is portable. Yes, you can write your code and you can share your code to anybody. So that's the thing. This makes you movement of your projects and systems much more easier comparing to other language. So that's what's the point here. It is more portable. And the fourth feature is very, very important in every if you attend a Python interview, that means as a software programmer for Python, you can tell that Python is embedded and extensible, and the interviewer will ask you what is embedded and extensible. This is the key feature of Python. Let me explain you. It that means it have an embedding property. Chances are that certain languages may perform certain functions better than Python, right? So at that time, what you're going to do is you're going to add the code from other language to the Python, and you can run those functions into your Python. So that's the thing. You can embed the other language code like C, C++, Java code to your Python. That's the great future in Python and the interesting future in Python. So that's the thing. And the next main feature of Python is interpreter. So if you see, Python is interpreted. That means its code is executed line by line, which means it can manage the memory and CPU, and debugging of code is much more simple when comparing to other language. So only it is said to be it is interpreted. And if you see the next future, the next feature is it consists of huge libraries. Already I said it has lots and lots of inbuilt libraries, mainly for the algorithm of machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? And if you see, the last feature is the object oriented. So Python supports the object-oriented concept, meaning that you can made or modify a have lots and lots of modules of real world into your code, and you have a high security to that to access the restricted. So for mainly, if you see why the C++ and Java came into the industry and more popular than C, means because it holds the OOPS concept. Now the every industry have lots and lots of coding only in Python, because they are also using OOPS concept. So the main thing is it is highly secure, right? So these are the futures of Python. So next question, next slide, please. So if you see, our next question arises is where these Pythons are used in our industry, right? So if you see, the first thing is Google. Google uses Python. So the main purpose of Python used in Google is for better search results, and they provides the base on ranking of the websites and much more. So for better search results are provided based on the ranking of the websites and much more are done used by Google. And the second one, if you see the Dropbox, so the Dropbox are server and client applications under coded using the Python, right? So the third main company using, that means industry used Python, is the BitTorrent. If you see, in BitTorrent, the transfer of files between peer-to-peer, which starts out the normal Python files are done here. And the next one is National Security Agency. So for encryption and decryption purpose, these Python is used for security purpose, and NASA uses for scientific calculations. That means it comes under the artificial and machine learning. And if the last one is Netflix, yes, everyone knows Netflix, right? So Netflix is a video streaming application, and if you see the Netflix is considered as the market giant for the video streaming, because mostly everyone subscribed Netflix and used to see films in Netflix, right? So these Netflix says that 60 percentage of their coding are done only in Python, because they are saying that this Python is very very efficient and easy for their CDN, that means content delivery of network. The Netflix have to stream their videos all over the world, and they are using CDN, that is content delivery network, which is used by the worldwide. This CDN comes under the CPy. The CPy is nothing but it is a library used by the Python. So here Netflix also uses Python, that is machine learning is used to cluster and based on the interest on shows and retain them for longer. So this Python also provides that if you let me tell you an example. If you're using Netflix, if you see an action movie, and if you click on the action movie, that too in English action movie, if you clicking, then what this machine learning algorithm will store means this candidate searching action movie in English language. So it defaultly automatically will generate other action movies present in the Hollywood, and it defaultly show you in your bottom of your tab or your TV, etc. Right? So these things are done using your Python language, and they use NumPy, ZPy, Pandas, etc. These Netflix users. So if you join in the full course in our AP training, I will explain you the real-time project of network, and I will give you how the NumPy, ZPy, and data analysis, data visualization are used in this Netflix. Why I'm insisting you this means in our full course we are providing the code how these Netflix is working. So this is a real one of the real-time projects we use to tell you, right? So next slide, please. So our next question is, so what are the current career opportunities present today for Python? So if you see the career opportunities, our first one is Google, NASA, Firefox, IBM, Walt Disney, Roseberry, Dropbox, YouTube, Facebook, etc., Netflix, etc. Now hiring for Python. And in Python, you need to, if you are Python have lots and lots of applications like web development framework. If you want to be a master in web development framework, you should know Django. And if you want to be a web testing, you should know Selenium. Every course are provided in our AP trainings. And if you see for game development, Pygame, and for artificial intelligence and data science, they are also provide NumPy, ZPy, and big data, and Hadoop, and smart devices. So everything. So if you see the overall career opportunity is mainly the top MNCs prefers only Python, right? Even in web development, nowadays they use only Python for their backend. So next slide, please. So before entering into this variable expressions, that means before entering into our session, let me tell you one thing, that in our full training, actually I didn't mention the slide here. If you join in the full course, I will explain you the basics of Python fully, and the combination, and after explanation of the basics of Python, the topics involved are NumPy, ZPy, data analysis, and data visualization. These four topics are very very main topics, and these four topics are if you are a master in these four topics, then you can easily attend the interviews, and you can get through the MNCs, because mostly the variables, expression statements, then conditional statements, functions, everything comes in all language. But where Python differs, so Python differs from the topic like what is Panda, what are NumPy, what are CPy, what is the data analysis, how you are going to visualize the data. So here Python comes, right? All the other things are the same thing, like creating a variable, and we are going to store the variable, and etc. The all functions are the same like other language. So if you are master in other language, then this is also a good path for you to choose Python. So you can read the extra topics like NumPy, CPy. We provide in our AP training, we provide NumPy, CPy, data analysis, Panda, and data visualization with real-time projects. So guys, in this session, I just prepared a simple concept of variable expressions and statements, and yeah, and just I will just explain a simple code. Next slide, sir. Sir, if possible, can you ask a question in pool, sir? If possible. First question in pool, please. First question in pool, please. Kindly use pool, sir.
Uh,
Sir, are you using, or let me explain other slides?
yeah, you can explain other sides, Gita.
Okay, kindly get back because you came to constant, sir. Kindly put the first slide, variable constant and expressions, please. That slide variable extend back, sir. Next slide back, please. Back. Okay. Variable expressions and statements. So next slide, sir. So before before entering into the variables, let me explain you constant. So constant, the word constant itself specifies that you cannot change anything. It's going to be constant. Yes, the same thing. So this is the basics for every language. So every language has constant and variable. So in Python, the constant means it is a fixed value, such as the constant value may be a number, letter, or string, etc. So if you see on your right side, I just have a statement print 1 2 3. So here the 1 2 3 is constant here, and if you see here the syntax of Python, here I just written print and I just written 1 2 3, right? So I didn't mention, I didn't put open bracket or double quotes. So that much the syntax is very easy here. So if you enter that, the result will be 1 2 3. And if you use print 98.6 and if you give an enter, then your output is going to be 98.6. And if you enter a string in double quotes hello world, and your output is going to be hello world. So if you see in C++, Java, C Sharp, etc., you want to mention the data type, right? What data type you are using. But the good feature in Python is you need not to mention the data type, because the data types are inbuiltly it recognize. If you just type 1 or 2 or 3, it itself will take it is an integer. And if you give a string inside a single quote or double quote, even in Python you can use triple quote for printing paragraphs. So it will automatically it will consider it is a string. And if you write a floating point number, that means a decimal number, it automatically will take it is a floating point. So that's the thing. So here constant cannot be changed, right? So next slide please. So if you see variables, so variables, so as the name indicates, the variables, the values can be changed here. So the definition of variable is a variable is named the place of the memory where a programmer can store the data and can retrieve the data using the variable name, right? So here see x equal to 12.2 I have mentioned in the left side. So what happens is, see in the right side, so x is the variable which stores the value in its memory as 12.2. So that's what I just represented. So the x value 12.2 is stored in the memory location, and the next variable y equal to 14. So the variable y which holds the value 14, which this y will allot certain memory space, and that 14 will be stored in that memory space. So after that, if I give you, sir, next slide please. After that, if I give you x equal to some value, then that x value going to be changed. Sir, next slide please. So see here, x equal to 100. So if you see, first I gave x equal to 12.2. After that, in the last statement, I just gave x equal to 100. So here, what happens is the last value 100 is going to be stored by deleting the previous value. So this is variable. So variable is the one you can which holds the value, and it can be changeable, right? So constant cannot be changeable and the variable can be changeable. So that's the thing. So next slide please. And if you see sir, back slide sir, after variables, next slide sir. Yeah, so there are some of the rules for variables. So while creating variable, you cannot give everything. For example, a good variable can start with a letter and an underscore, right? So I just mentioned, see, good variable, bad variable, and some of the different terms of variables. So if in good variable, I just mentioned the word spam, eggs, underscore speed, etc. But in bad variable, I just you can mention 23 spam, but it will be confused, and you should not use any reserve words for your variables, right? For example, you should not use the variable name as if or for, like that. You should not use any reserve words. Reserve words or keywords. So next slide. Let me explain you. So there are more than 37 reserve words in your Python, and some of the reserve words are undel. So these reserve words should not be used as your variable name. Undel, for, is, raise, assert, else, break, etc. are some of the reserve words. So next slide, please. So if you want to write a simple statements of line in your Python, then this is the one. So I just declared x equal to 12, and I just declared the next statement as x equal to x plus 12, and finally I just gave the statement print x, right? So if you listen to this, I just declared the value to the variable x equal to 2. So what it means is the Python interpreter itself automatically this guy is taking the integer value. If I specify x equal to 2.4 or any floating point value, then the interpreter itself will take it as a floating value. And if I declare any value x equal to any string, double quotes, single quotes, or you can even use triple quotes in your Python. And if you are giving any string, you don't want to mention what data type you are using, because the Python interpreter itself will take the data type, right? So that's the thing. And if you see, I just gave x equal to 2, and I just given x equal to x plus 2, right? So what's the output going to come? Your output value going to come is 2 plus 2 equal to 4. So at first my value of x would be 2. After executing these statements, my value of x is going to be 4. So that's the thing going to be happen here. So next slide, sir. So next, assignment statements. So the assignment statements are nothing but the equal to statements, and you can assign a value to a variable using the assignment statements. So I just used a simple expression, see here, x equal to 3.9 into x into 1 minus x, right? So if you see, I just used the assignment operator equal to, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute the x value. So what value I have given? X equal to 0.6. So what will going to happen? 3.9 into 0.6 into 1 minus 0.6. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next. So this is what going to happen. So a variable in a memory location which uses to store the value 0.6. At first, its value is going to be 0.6. After substituting these values, its value is going to be 0.93. So here, I just gave a expression. So right side of an expression, once an expression is evaluated, the result is placed, right? So that's the thing. So next thing, next slides, please. Sir, next slide, please. And see here, after the statement is executed, the expression is evaluated, the value of 0.6 is deleted, and new value 0.93 is placed in the memory. So this is what the variable does. So a variable is used to store a value in the memory location, but it is not constant. The variable can be stored by replacing its value according to the new upcoming values, right? So that's the thing. So you need not, here also I'm again repeating, in Python, you need not to specify the data type. The data type is inbuiltly taken by the interpreter. So next slide, please. So the next one is numerical expressions. So every language has its basic things like, for example, if you want to learn English, you have alphabets, letters, small letter, capital letter, like that. Every language in computer programming, they too have certain specific principles, like basic things. The same thing will be used in every language. So numerical expression, if you are good in other languages, you would know about numerical expressions and variables, constants, and some of the basic operations like functions, etc. So here in Python, the numerical expressions used are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, power, and remainder. And if you see in Python, we are using double star for power. In other language, we would have used cap, right? Do you remember that cap symbol? And
Geeta,
here,
sorry for the interruption. This is Ravi here.
yeah,
Yeah, can you please go a little bit slower, because some people are saying they're going fast. So
yeah, okay, sir.
yeah, thank you.
So if you see about numerical expressions, the numerical expressions are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and power and remainder. So power we are using double star, and for remainder we are using modulo, right? So here if you want to calculate the power of 2 power 2 means you can give 2 double star 2, then automatically it will generate 4, right? And the remainder is nothing but this remainder operator is used to build the remainder of the value, right? So next slide please. I will show you examples for each expression. So if you see the first one, double x equal to 2, I have declared, right? So double x equal to double x plus 2. That means what happens is already we have assigned the value double x equal to 2. So what happens 2 plus 2, and it's going to print the value 4. So can you understand the simple basic addition operation? Can you kindly reply in your chat box? Yes. Can you reply yes in chat box? Yeah. So the next thing is we are just performing the multiplication operator. And yeah. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, Sure. Thank you very much for your response. And if you see after multiplication, I just declared y equal to 440 into 12, right? So the value would be 5,000. Yes, thank you, Patel, Reshmi. Thank you. And if you see I just multiplied the two values, and the the variable which holds the value double y equal to 440 into 2 is 5. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you, Nitish. Thank you. And the output value is going to be 5,280, right? And the next operation is your division operation. Here we are going to divide the variable. So I just given z equal to y by 1000. So what is our current value of yy? Just text me. What is our current value of yy? Our current value of yy? Yeah, 5280. Good, Rohit. So you every guys listening, very good. So here what's going to happen is, yeah. Thank you, boss. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you, Sonali. And here what's going to happen is just, thank you, Nitish, 5280 by 1000. So our value is going to be 5. So that's the thing. And the next thing is we are going to use our remainder operator. So if you see I just declared jj equal to 23, right? And after that, I declared kk equal to jj modulo 5. So what happens is, just see the down of your slide. I just put 23 and 5, right? So if you see 4 and the remainder is 3. So in this remainder operator, it just going to print the remainder. It's just going to print the remainder. So that's the thing. And the last one is the power operator. So if you see print 4 star star 3. So the double star is used for power operator. So that means 4 into 4 into 4. 4 into 4, 16, and 16 into 4, 64. So that's the process done here. So are you now familiar with the operators of Python? Shall we move on to next slide, guys? Shall we move on to next slide? Yeah, our next slide. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sunita. Thank you, Pranav Kumar, Malik. Thank you. And our next slide is the order of evolution. Satya Bharat. Thank you, Kajal. Thank you, Kajal Power. Yeah. So order of evolution. So if you see in computers, they have certain principles to solve an expression. So they used to tell that as order of evolution, you cannot evaluate the expression um like next, like you cannot just evaluate it. You have certain principle. You would have studied about Bodmer's theory, right? That means you want to first take the brackets, and after that addition, subtraction. So Bodmer's theory. So that thing is comes here. So which operation should be done first and which operation should be done next? So this can be done in your order of evolution. If you see the expression x equal to 1 plus 2 star 3 minus 4 by 5 double star 6, you cannot directly evaluate this. You have certain operator precedency. Operator precedency is nothing but a small rules known as Bodmer's rules. Next slide, please. So if you see, our highest precedency rule is first we should remove the parenthesis. And the second one is power. And the third one is we are going to remove the multiplication operation and addition and then subtraction, right? So after that division, after that subtraction. So this Bodmer's is going to work from left to right. You should be very careful in that. You should solve your expressions from left to right. So that's what your operator precedency rule says. And the parentheses are always respected, and exponential rises a power, multiplication, division, and remainder, addition, subtraction, left to right. So this is our operator precedency rule in not only in Python, C, C++, and Java, everything. The operator precedency rules is the same. Sir, next slide, please. So if you see, I just evaluate the expression x equal to, I already said 1 plus 2 double star 3 by 4 star 5. So here I don't have any parenthesis. So I'm going to remove the power according to our operator precedency. So the power 2 star 3, see your right hand side 2 star 3, that means 2 into 2 into 2, right? Star means it is power operator. So 8 by 4. So after that I'm going to do the multiplication, sorry, after that I'm just going to do the division operation. 8 by 4, that is 2. After that I'm going to do the multiplication operator, that is 2 star 5, that is 10. After that I'm going to perform a simple addition operation. So that's, so Bodmer's theory explains this. Okay, next slide please. Can you understand this, guys? Don't get confused. Just think Bodmer's theory, the same thing. Are you okay with this, guys? Karishma, okay. Okay, Karishma. Satya Bharat, okay. Deepika, fine. Kajal, thank you for your response, guys. Thank you. Pavan Kumar, okay, super. Let us go move on to next slide. Sir, next slide, please. Sir, next slide. Next slide. So I just explain how this operation performs. Sir, next slide. Next. So step by step, I just put in my slide. So 8 by 4 goes before 4 by 5. That process is done from left to right rule. Next, sir. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Next slide. So finally, our output is going to be 11. So this is how, next slide. This is how our operator precedency going to get work. So the same thing they have said. So remember the rules from top to bottom. So you are going to remember these rules while solving the expression, not only in Python, but also in C, C++ and Java, in C# also. And when writing the code, use parentheses. When writing code, keep mathematical expressions simple enough that they are easy to understand, right? And break long series of mathematical operators uh, up to make them more clear, right? So that's what they just said. So the basic thing is Bodmer's theory. The next slide, sir. So the next thing is Python integer diversion is wired. So they are saying that Python integer division is wired. That means if you see in your right hand side, I just gave print 10 by 2. If you see this clearly, you can find that 10 is an integer value and 2 is an integer value. So Python will automatically take that this guy is going to divide two integer values. That is 10 is also an integer value, 2 is also an integer value. So 10 by 2 is 5. In next, if you see 9 by 2, it comes 4.5, right? But we have given 9 is an integer value and 2 is an integer value. So Python automatically convert and it automatically gives the result as integer value. So that's the thing. Integer division truncates, floating point division produces floating point number. So that's the interesting thing in your Python. So next, if you see print 99 by 100, it just gives 0. And if you take the next one, 10.0 by 2.0, so both are floating points. So it gives the floating point output. So you need not to specify what data type you are using in your Python language, right? Next slide, please. So the next thing is mixed integer and floating. So what's going to happen if you mix an integer value with floating value? When you perform an operation where one operand is an integer and other operand is a floating point, the result is going to be the floating point, right? The integer is converted to floating point, and anyone knows the technical word converting the types of like this from integer to floating point and the floating point to integer. Anyone knows the technical term, what it means? Guys, anyone knows? Converting these data types is known as data type from one data type to another data type is known as very good typecasting. Akshaya, super, very good Akshaya. Typecasting, yes. Typecasting is nothing but converting your one data type to another data type. So that's the thing going on here. So here in first second, we already saw 99 by 100 0. If you see the second print, 99 by 100.0, right? So if you see that in your right hand side, just see 99 by 100.0. So the interpreter will take this guy gave an integer by a floating point value. So the output will be your floating point value. And the next print statement, kindly see 99.0 by 100. If you see this, the output also floating point 0.99. So what it means is whatever may be the interpreter itself is converting if you are using the mixture of an integer and a floating point, right? So this is known as type conversion. What is the difference between typecasting? Yeah, actually this type conversion in Python is automatically it converts, but in other language like C, Java, you want to cast, you want to give what type you want to convert, right? So it is automatically converted. So the difference is typecasting, it is automatically that means the interpreter automatically converted, but in type conversion you guys should specify from what type to what type you want to convert. For example, I want to convert an integer to a floating, right? So that is known as type conversion, and typecasting, it is automatically converted by the interpreter. I will explain you this one in next slide, then you get a clear idea. Okay, guys? Can you understand the difference? Can you understand the difference? Shall we move to next slide, which is pickling and unpickling? Ma'am. Yeah. Okay, Nitish. I will explain you about pickling. So next slide, please. So if you Surya Manikandan, thank you, Surya. So if you see what does type means. So in Python, variables, literals, and constants have a type, right? So Python knows the difference between the integer number and the string number. For example, plus means addition. If something is a number, and if uh, if something is a number, and concatenate if something is a string. So what they are trying to say is, you need not to worry about that Python going to take your data type. What type of data type? I already said this Python is going to take a inbuilt data type. If you give a number, it automatically will take, oh, this is number, so this guy want to add the number. If you see the first statement, d equal to 1.4, in your right hand side, just see, in your right hand side, yellow color, I just described d equal to 1 plus 4, right? So the Python interpreter itself will take, so these two are integer values, so we want to perform the addition operation, right? And if you see the next statement, so your value is going to be 5. 1 plus 4 is 5. And if you see the next operation, triple E equal to hello plus there, right? So we have given this hello inside a single quotes, plus inside single quotes I have given there, right? So what's going is, you're going to concatenate these things. That means the interpreter is going to concatenate the thing. So the plus operator is just going to, sir, slide please, going to concatenate the thing. Sir, kindly show the slide please. We'll finish the session within 5 minutes. So here what happens is, the concatenation is takes place. So everything the interpreter will do by itself. So that's the point I'm going to tell. The Python, it itself will know that if we give a plus operator between a number, it's just going to add. If we give the addition operator between the string, it's going to concatenate. Next slide, sir. So the same thing they explained here. So next slide, sir. So, sir, before slide, please. Sorry, before slide, please. So, if you see triple E in your right hand side, kindly see that yellow color string, triple E equal to hello plus there. And after that, I'm giving triple E equal to triple E plus 1. So, what happens here? It occurs an error, because in yellow color, I just gave triple E equal to the two strings. So the result of triple E would be hello there, right? That means a string and a value cannot be concatenated. So it just throw an error. So cannot concatenate a string and integer objects. So that's the thing they just gave. And if you see, Nitish, you would have asked that how you what is the difference between type casting and type conversion. See here, I just used type triple E, so it just giving the type is string. And if you give type 1 below in your right hand side, it just giving type as integer. Can you understand this, guys? Why it throws an error? You cannot add a string to an integer value or floating value. So move on to next slide, sir. Oh, thank you, Reshmi. So move on to next slide, sir. So several types of numbers. So here also you can use see what type, Pranav Kumar. Yeah, x equal to 1. See in your right hand side, x equal to 1. I just gave a value and I just going to print what type is the x. So I just used type. Type is nothing. It is a keyword, and inside the type I just gave the variable name double x. So if you give enter, then your output statement is going to be type int. Then temp equal to 98.6. So I'm just going to give the keyword type, and I'm just going to give the variable inside the type function. So it's going to tell me it is a float data type. So you can, in Python, you can use type function or method to describe, to know what data type it is using. Next slide, please. So this is what the type conversion. When you put an integer and floating point in an expression, the integer is implicitly converted to a float. So next, before slide, sir. So this is type conversion. So this is the definition of type conversion. So it automatically convert to itself. So that's what the thing says. So next slide, please. So this is string conversion. So if you see SVAL in your right hand side, just see your right hand side, SVAL equal to 123. This 123 is given inside a single double quote. So the Python will take it is a string, and I'm just printing type of the variable name S value, that means VAL. So it's printing just type is string. And after that, what I'm going to do, I'm just printing SVAL plus 1. So what happens? The string cannot be added with your integer number. So it throws an error. So what I'm going to do is I'm just converting this SVL to the integer. So after that, I'm going to add this. So what happens here, that 123 string is converted to the integer value 123. And after that, print I value plus 1 means 123 plus 1. It will convert the string to the number. That means 123 plus, that means 123 plus 1 is converted to 124. This is very main thing, guys. Kindly see this. I just gave the string 123, so it just taken the value as 123. If I give a string like hello Bob, then it will create an error. So can you understand the string conversion, guys? Can you understand this? In your right hand side? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Deepika. Thank you, Pranav. Yeah. Thank you, Jana. So next slide, please. Thank you, Kajal. Next slide, please. So I just you can get an input from the Python using the method using the method raw input. So I just gave a simple example. See your right hand side. So name, that means num is the variable, and inside the variable I just used raw underscore. Thank you, Realme. I don't know your name. Sorry. So num equal to raw input. So who are you? So after that, I just print welcome, comma, the variable name. So your output is going to be who are you, and that means your output is going to be welcome, who are you. So next slide, please. So this slide, that means I'm just saying that you can get the input from the user. Who are you? So welcome, and if you type any name, it just going to print the name. So that's all. So next slide. So you can use slash for comments. So comments are used for the real world programmers, because everything cannot be remembered by the programmer. There will be thousands and lakhs of lines in coding. So for every programmer, they use to the command line. These command lines cannot be recognized by the interpreter. Yeah, Shyam. Next slide, please. So I just shown some of the examples for command. So if you use the yellow color lines or command lines, just go through that. Next slide, please. So the basic string operation is concatenate operation. We just saw that. So one of the beauty in Python is if you use plus symbol between two strings, that it used to go, it will concatenate the string. That is, it going to combine the two strings. But if you use a star operator, for example, in your right hand side, see, print ABC plus 123. So two strings are going to be combined together, known as concatenation. ABC 123 is your output. And if you see the next statement, print hi star 5. That means what it going to do is it going to print your hi 5 times. So that's the thing going to do in Python. So Python knows when it is dealing with string and when it is dealing with number. So Python automatically will recognize the behavior. So next string, please. Next slide. So mnemonics. So since we are a programmer, given a choice on how we choose our variable name. So here mnemonic variable name is nothing but if you want to be a good programmer, you should give your variable name a very good positive manner. That means everyone should understand your variable name. Let me explain you with an example. Sir, next slide, please. So if you see here, see my variable names x1q3 something equal to 3.50 and x1q3 z9. So do you feel this variable name is easy for you? Do you feel this variable name is easy for you? No, yes. This is a complex variable name. So I will suggest you how to create. Sir, next slide, please. Yes. So in your right hand side, just see. In your right hand side, I just gave A equal to 3.5, B equal to 12.5, C equal to A star B and print C. So is this easy? Is this easy, guys? Sir, next slide, please. Yes, yes. Sir, next slide, please. So now you see the green color, hover equal to 35.0, rate equal to 12.5, pay equal to hours into rate and print pay. Which one is easy, guys? Yellow color or pink color or your variable name in green color? Pink color is easy for you. You don't see the easiness. Just if I see the variable name, I should understand what this program is. So the green color is the easiest one. Yeah, green, Deepika, good. Because this green color states that I'm going to calculate the hour rate, I'm going to multiply the hour and rate, and I'm going to multiply this hour and rate for the payment. Yes, green color, Kajal, yeah. So this is how a good programmer uses the variable. So using the variable plays a key role in every project. So that's what I'm trying to say. So try to code your variable name with the words related to your project, right? Next slide, please. So thank you. Thank you, guys. So that's all about our today's session. Again, I need to tell you that why if you join in our full course, we just don't cover the topic only with the basics of Python. We also include the new topics like NumPy, ZPy, data analysis, Panda, data visualization, etc. These things play a major role in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data science. So if you take this full course, then it would be very easy for you to understand. You can itself learn the ML, that means machine learning, artificial intelligence. I will deal everything of NumPy, CPy, data analysis, Panda, and data visualization. Okay, guys. So that's all. Thank you, guys. By Geetanjali. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shyam. Thank you. If anyone have doubts, you can ask me. I just took a simple concept. Can you send this? Yeah, we will send this PPT and record. We will upload in Google Drive and YouTube. Thank you, Shushmita. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you. Thank you very much. So try to join in our full course, and we also will give you certification. We will provide certification, Kajal. Yes, this certification are valid. Yeah, thank you, Sonal. We will also build you a free resume for you, and we will also give you good guidelines for your interview. Each and every topic we will teach for you. We will give you the mainly our target is to make you place in a good MNC, right? So we will ask you questions after finishing our daily sessions, right? So that would be helpful. May I know how many days the course? There are two types of course we are providing. Sir will explain you. One is flash course and another one is full course. If you join in full course, I will explain both front end and back end. I will just teach you how you can connect your JDBC, that means sorry, database with your Python, right? So if you join in your full course, I will tell you how you can connect your front end with your back end in Python, and I will give you more than 3 real-time projects, right? And I will give you the notes for your interview preparations. That means what are the main questions will be asked in Python. And yeah, you should pay for the sham. Actually, we provide free webinars, but for full course, it is 35 hours. More than 1 month it will take to complete your full course. After finishing your full course, we will provide the resume for you, right? And we will give you the notes and we will amount, everything will be fees and amount will be saved by our AP trainers. Fee structure will be told by our AP trainers. Yes. So kindly try to join in full course. Yeah, we will take attendance too, right? Attendance too. We will take attendance too. So everything will be
Guys,
maintained.
so regarding the course and regarding the certification, I will explain you. So if you have any doubts regarding the session, like related to Python, you can ask the trainer. So we have next session. In that session, I will explain all your queries regarding the certification, regarding the course, and regarding the course amount, everything. So if you have any doubts regarding the session, you can ask the trainer. If you don't have any doubts, we can move to the next session.
Do you have any doubts in the content what I have explained? Ma'am, can it possible input directly? Yeah, there are many ways you can get input from input in Python. I just request you to use raw input, right? No doubt, Rohit. So you can get input from the users. Yeah, for this webinar, there is, yeah, sir will tell you answer for this, Mohammed. Raw, RAW, raw input. And Sham, do you have any questions? Sorry, okay. So guys, any other questions? So we will send you the syllabus. Just to see the syllabus itself, you can valid our course because we will provide you that much stuff in Python. Any other questions regarding to the content of my session today? Thanks for today's webinar, ma'am. Thank you, Sham. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mahima. Thank you for your response, guys. Thank you, Khan. Thank you, Pranav, again. Thank you for your response, guys. Kajal, thank you. So much of responses. Very, very glad of you guys. Thank you, Satyabhamma. Thank you. So Rohit Manaja, thank you. Nitish Kumar, again, thank you. Thank you for your response, guys. Really happy for you. Thank you, Deepika. Happy for you. So kindly try to join in your full course, guys. So Chandrasekhar, thank you. Yeah. If you join in full course, I will explain everything in the tool Eclipse, right? I use the software tool Eclipse to run our program, and I will guide you how you can download PyCharm and Jupyter. And MoneyPro. Guys, Sir will explain you about the paid system. If you have any doubts in the content, what I have taught, kindly ask. Dominic Jordan, thank you, Dominic.
Okay, Geeta. Like, since no one has any doubts regarding the session, I think.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Geeta. It was really a wonderful session. I hope everyone has enjoyed the session. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye, sir.
Okay, guys. So next we are going to see about the AP training teaching methodology. I will explain you. Will explain all the queries which you asked the previous session in this session. So please be patient. So in our AP trainings, we are following 5-method teaching methodology, which is simple learning methodology, students recall, then creative explanation, then fingertip material, and finally additional bonuses. We can see by it one by one. First one is simple learning methodology. Simple learning methodology is nothing but on a daily basis, you will be having a classes for 75 minutes. That 75 minutes classes has been split into 6 sessions. Session 1 will be for 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, you will be having yesterday's class revision. That is, what are the topics the trainer has covered in previous days. You can revise those concepts in the session 1. Then you will be moving to session 2. Session 2 is for 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, trainer will take that day's class topic. That is, new topics will be taken on session 2. Once the session 2 is over, you will be moving to session 3, which is for 15 minutes. In that 15 minutes, you have to practice in front of the trainer. That is, what are the topics he has covered in session 2? You have to practice those concepts in front of the trainer in session 3. Once that has been finished, you will be moving to session 4. Session 4 is for 15 minutes. In that 15 minutes, trainer will take the next concept. After that, you will be moving to session 5, which that is for 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, again, you have to practice in front of the trainer. So the final session will be for 5 minutes. This is really a very important session because in this session, student has to teach the trainer. That is, the concept that has been covered in session 2 and session 4, those concepts you have to teach it to the trainer. Why we are having session 6 at the end of the session is, so this is the reason. So normally if you are reading any concept, you will be getting only 10% of knowledge. If you are practicing it, you will be getting 75% of knowledge. Only if you teach others, you will be getting 100% knowledge. That is the reason we are having session 6 at the end of the session. In our AP training, our main goal is every student should get 100% knowledge in all the concepts. That is why we are having session 6 at the end of the session. Then creative explanation. So you will be getting e-learning, e-coaching, and collaborative learning all in a single virtual classroom. Then OneNote. So daily classes will be taken in OneNote, and we will share you the link also. So you can access that link anywhere at any time, and you can access those data. Then mind map. Mind map is nothing but teaching board which we are using in our AP training. Mind map works in the way our brain will work. That is the main reason we are using mind map in AP training. Then some of the information like class notes with pictures and diagrammatic explanation and whole training text in a single notebook. So you will be getting all the materials like all the classes will be recorded and it will be stored in our common share link. We will give you that link also. If you want to access those recording, you can download the recording from that link and you can access it anytime. Then class notes and documents, which is nothing but OneNote, and software also. So like for your training, if you want any software, we will be providing that software as well. Then additional bonuses like free interview session. So once you finish the course in our AP training, we will conduct free interview session also. Then resume preparation. We will help you to prepare your resume as well. And the lifelong support. Lifelong support is nothing but we are having one forum for our AP training. So during your training session or after you finish your training session, if you have any doubts, you can post your doubts in that forum so that our trainer will help you to solve your queries. Then professional certification guidance, like we will help you to finish the certification also. Like in our AP training, all the trainers are certified trainers, so they can guide you easily to finish the certification also. Then job links, we will share you some job links and we will give you some techniques for fast learning as well. Okay, so this is the teaching methodology which we are using in our AP training. So guys, do you have any doubts on this? If you have any doubts, you can ask in the chat box. Else we can see the offer session, like the offer which we are going to give you today. Okay, no doubt. No doubt. Thank you. Ananya, may I know which link you are asking? Yeah, feedback link I will share at the end of this session. Please be wait. Okay, audio is not clear. So is it fine now? Khan, you can learn Python also. Okay, so yeah, is it fine now? Okay, yeah, thank you. So next we are going to see about the training model which we are following in our AP training. Here we have two kind of training model. One is a full course and another one is a flash course. So the difference between full course and flash course is full course consists of end-to-end concepts of that technology, whereas flash course consists of only important topics of that technology. So why we are having flash courses like most of the students are saying like they are not affordable to join the full course like that they used to say. So that's why we have introduced a training model called flash course. So usually the working professional will take a full course and students usually they used to take flash course. If you see full course is totally for 35 to 40 hours. It consists of totally 30 classes. Each classes will be 75 minutes per day. Whereas flash course is only for 10 hours, which is 600 minutes, and it consists of 2 days of workshop as well. So in that 2 days, you will be getting practical knowledge as well in that 2 days workshop. So mostly students will take the flash course because it is easily affordable. But working professional will take full course only because it consists of end-to-end concept of the technology. Okay. So do you guys have any idea for market price for Python? So do you have any doubt on the market price for Python? Can you reply in the chat? Do you have any idea on it, like 30K, 40K? Do you have any idea on it? Okay, 35,000, 40. Okay, fine. So actually the market price for the full course is 30K to 40K, whereas for flash courses 10K to 12K. But in our AP training, we are not giving this much amount. So we are giving some offer to all the students who are joining a course in AP training. So here we are giving full courses for 25K and flash course for 7K. So guys, please make a note of it. This offer is common for everyone. So like if anyone wants to join Python course in our AP training, they can take full course with, for 25K and flash course with 7K. But we are going to give some special offers to the participants who joined the webinar today. So that offer is you can take full course with just 15K and flash course you can take in just 1,500 rupees. So participants, please make a note of it. The offer which I am telling now is only for the participants who joined the webinar today. This offer is not common for everyone. So why I'm insisting this is like usually some of the friends, some of the students' friends will come and ask the course for the full course. If your friends wants to join the full course, they have to pay 25K and flash course they have to pay 7,000. But only for you guys, you can take full course with 15K and flash course with 1,500 rupees. This offer is valid only for 1 week from today. I'm insisting this again. This offer is not common for everyone. This offer is only for the participants who joined the webinar today. So apart from this, we are also giving some crazy offer, which is nothing but your 60 minutes offer. That is, if you are taking Python courses in 60 minutes, that is from now, time is 7:30. So if you are taking the course within 8:30, you can take full course with 13K and flash course in just 999. So guys, this offer is valid only for 1 hour. So from now till 8:30, this offer is valid. So till 8:30, you can take Python full course with just 13K and flash course you can take just 999. So guys, what do you think about this offer? Is it affordable now? Can you reply in the chat? Can you reply in the chat regarding the offer? Right. So guys, if you think the market price, if you check the market price, Python course you have to take in 30,000. So all other institutions will use to charge like 20,000 to 30,000. But here in our AP training, we are giving the Python course in just 13,000, 13, and flash course you can take it in just 999. I'm sharing you the payment link. If anyone interested to join the flash course, you can use the above link and you can join the course. I'm insisting again, the offer which you are displaying now is valid only for 1 hour. So full course is just 13K and flash course is just 999. And your 1 week offer would be full course is 15K and flash course is 1,500. This offer is available till 1 week. Flash course, Priya, yeah, Priya, we will assist you for placement as well. So if you want any tips, or if you want to know how to attend the interview, uh, we will assist you for flash course as well. Once you finish the course, you can come with set of questionnaire, or whatever the doubts you have, you can ask to the trainer regarding the interview. We will support for flash course as well. Yeah. Guys, do you have any doubts regarding the offer, regarding the course? Please ping in the chat box. Do you have any doubts? Okay, fine. So some of the special bonuses, like as I said earlier, we will give you free interview session for both full course and flash course. We will help you for resume preparation. We will help you for professional certification guidance, and you will be getting lifelong support as well. So your special advantages would be like you can clear your queries at any time with the trainer, training at your preferred time. Yeah. So what are the time? So the timing is suitable for you. You can take training at that timing, and we will give you recorded videos as well. So one small step can change your life. I hope this would be that step. So guys, this is really an excellent offer. As I said earlier, both offer are valid only for 1 hour, and another offer is valid only for 1 week. So kindly make use of that offer. Do you have any doubts till now? You are Priya, 2018 passed out, electrical engineer, and no work experience. Yeah, Priya, initially you can learn flash course, and after that you can attend some interview. But if you get full course, that would be more helpful for you. So still anyone have any doubts? I just share the feedback link. Please fill the feedback link. Then only you will get the certificate. Certification is an automation process. So please provide the valid details, because certificate will be automatically generated and sent to the email address which you are providing in the feedback form. So don't forget to fill the feedback form. You will be getting the certificate only if you fill the feedback form. And also before submitting the feedback form, please check your details, because if the details is not correct, then you will not get the certificate. So kindly provide your valid email address and phone number in the feedback form, please. Okay, does anyone have any doubts yet? You can ping in the chat box. Guys, anyone have any doubts? You can ping in the chat box whatever the doubts you have regarding the course. Okay, I am again sharing the link. Yeah, sure, sir. We will share you the PPT. Yep, thank you. Does anyone have any doubts? Yeah, through WhatsApp or through email. Yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, guys. So we can wind up this session. I hope everyone has enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. Thanks for the participation.